He didn't threaten you, right? No, I didn't even say a single word to the guy. Please, don't ever come at people like that again. Thank God I stayed in my car, kept my mouth shut, and didn't get involved. Because what I saw, that was straight up harassment. People tailing you, filming every move, pushing just to make you snap. And here's the kicker. Does that dude even live in Dalton? Nope, just another clout chaser, spinning fake stories and stirring chaos for clicks. You think your boss would even know his name? Not a chance. Just a wannabe content creator who mistakes drama for a career. And now, at the center of the circus, Tiffany Henyard, mayor of Dalton, Illinois, neck deep in scandal, drowning in backlash. Why? Because brand new Bodycam footage just hit the internet showing federal agents slapping cuffs on her wrists. Yeah, you heard me right. Arrested. This wasn't out of nowhere. The red flags have been waving for months. But now, it's all crashing down. The charges? Corruption. Abuse of power. Lie after lie. And this isn't Facebook gossip. This is real. Federal level heat with real consequences. The people of Dalton? They're done. They've been screaming for justice for months. And now every skeleton is clawing its way out of the closet. Years of deception, dirty politics, and flat-out illegal moves are finally catching up. And those three loyal clowns always standing behind her? Please, not even pretending to be competent. They talk like they're geniuses, but it's just noise, empty, confusing noise. And every time Henyard opens her mouth, you can tell this is not someone built to run a city. Not even close. Whispers about her arrest have been swirling for weeks. And let's be real, nobody's shocked. Now it's official. Reports say the FBI stepped in, and the woman who thought she was untouchable might be staring at a federal prison cell. The investigation kicked off back in November, and since then, the walls have been closing in. Subpoenas left and right. And what they're digging up, it's not just bad, it's explosive. Fraud, reckless spending, shady backroom deals. Every dirty detail is spilling out now. Just last week, Dalton residents flooded the streets for a protest they called Take Our Town Back. That name says everything. The people are exhausted. They're done waiting. And this isn't her first time in cuffs. Her last arrest was for allegedly getting into someone's car without permission. But this time, she's facing 22 criminal charges. Not 2, 22. That's not scandal. That's a meltdown. Even her own lawyer walked away, apparently because she couldn't pay him. Meanwhile, Dalton's drowning in a $20 million deficit. This is what happens when someone unqualified gets power and treats a whole town like their personal playground. Here's the truth. Henyard became mayor in 2021, sure. But her real cash comes from her second job, township supervisor, pulling over $220,000 a year. And how'd she get that? The last supervisor died, and she swooped in, then to lock it down. She passed a rule slashing any opponent's salary from $220,000 to $25,000, from six figures to scraps, just to keep challengers away. That's not leadership. That's a power grab that's gotten so bad the town had to bring in a former Chicago official, paying $400 an hour, just to start cleaning up the mess. That's how deep this wreckage goes. But now, it feels like the tide is finally turning. After months of silence, dodging and delays, it's moving fast. For the first time in years, there's a real shot at accountability. Some longtime officials, people who've been sounding the alarm forever, are finally breathing again now that the feds are here. The FBI is doing what nobody else would. Try to save this town from a person sworn to protect it. They've pointed to millions of taxpayer dollars gone missing. No receipts. No paper trail. Just gone. And the deeper they dig, the worse it gets. Fraud, embezzlement, abuse of public funds. This wasn't public service. It was personal profit. Henyard ran Dalton like her own ATM. And don't think this is just small-town drama. This is a warning. This is what happens when you hand unchecked power to someone with zero business leading anything. The fallout is real. The damage is deep. The community is shattered, and the town is broke. And now, breaking news straight from Illinois. The FBI has officially raided both Dalton and Thornton Township. Court-ordered subpoenas were issued, and federal agents seized documents tied directly to Henyard's alleged corruption. ABC 7 News confirmed it. They grabbed employee files, police records, financial statements, everything tied to probe. Inside her own walls, Henyard's getting hammered by her counsel. Public, loud pushback. In a recent interview, she swore she's innocent, blaming haters and enemies. But this isn't a Facebook feud anymore. This is way past that. The council even brought in former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, also a former U.S. attorney, to run an independent investigation. And the accusations? They just keep stacking. One city worker says Henyard sexually assaulted him during a work trip to Vegas. Others say they were fired without cause, or never paid at all. This train wreck, it's not slowing down, it's hitting the gas. And those 3 loyal followers who parrot her every word, still living in a fantasy. They think echoing talking points is leadership. But the public's tapped out. It's over. The trust is gone. And the fact that someone like Tiffany Henyard, who talks like she's hosting a gossip podcast, is actually running a real town, that's nightmare fuel. When the FBI showed up, sources say she was right there, watching agents interview people in real time. And here's the kicker. She's accused of using Dalton police officers as her own personal Uber drivers. The former police chief claimed she had them chauffeuring her around on taxpayer time. Not for emergencies, not for safety, just pure luxury. It paints the picture clear. This woman wasn't working for the people. She was working for herself. Locals now describe her as one of the most dishonest, self-serving officials in Dalton history. Reports say she ran her office like a dictatorship, bullying staff, silencing critics, and firing anyone who dared to challenge her. And while her small Illinois town struggles, she's been burning through public money like it's monopoly cash. Let's start with this. She rolls around with a private security team costing taxpayers nearly $250,000 a year. She slapped her face on billboards, branded government buildings and vehicles with her name, and even printed a 2024 calendar with her own birthday highlighted. Like she's a pop star. And then there's the power play. She passed a law slashing the mayor's salary to just $25,000 a year if anyone dares run against her. That a 9% pay cut, just to scare off competition. But the damage isn't just financial, it's personal. To Dalton residents, this isn't just bad leadership, it's betrayal. One woman, silent for decades, finally spoke up. She'd prayed her worst fears would never come true. But now she says enough is enough. Years of trauma, depression, and pushing through on faith finally pushed her to speak. Not just for herself, but for every woman ignored or mistreated under Henyard's watch. And Henyard, she's notorious for mood swings. One assistant shared how she mentioned a work trip that happened to fall on her 31st birthday. She wasn't asking for a party, just a chance to see Vegas for the first time. But soon after, Henyard went on a now viral rant at city officials, screaming, "I'm the leader," insisting people only wanted to hear from her. It wasn't confidence. It was a public unraveling. Then came the hammer. Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot's investigation found Henyard was abusing public funds, spending money meant for residents on luxury hotels, high-end meals at Ruth's Chris, and yes, Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. She even wore a Bubba Gump hat to a council meeting, right after being grilled about that Vegas trip. When asked if she went to Vegas, she first said, "What is that?" Then stumbled into, "Of course I do." Asked if taxpayers paid for it, or if she flew first class. She dodged. The whole exchange felt like parody, but this is real life. And then, breaking news, federal agents raided Dalton and Thornton Township, armed with subpoenas. The FBI seized financial records, employee files, and police reports, all tied to Henyard corruption allegations. This isn't just political mudslinging anymore. It's a federal case. Now the accusations are piling up. Unpaid wages, wrongful firings, financial manipulation, and the most disturbing of all, a staffer accusing Henyard of sexual assault during that Vegas trip. And even as she stood in front of cameras denying everything, the FBI was already deep in the shadows, watching, listening, building their case. For Dalton, this is no longer politics. It's survival. The only question now is, when Tiffany Henyard's empire finally crumbles, how much damage will she leave behind?